see. So you made it to the second floor of the cat condo. All right, kitty. You have a good day. Don't move around too much. And here's some catnip. Have a good one. All right, the film I got to see was Burden of Dreams, 1982 historical documentary. I was going to watch all of Shoot the Piano Player by Francois Truffaut, but I fell asleep. I ended up watching this. It's a documentary. I've seen it before. It's a 1982 film about another 1982 film by Werner Herzog, called Fitzcarraldo, who Jason Robards and Mick Jagger was in and dropped out. They ended up using this crazy actor named Klaus Kinski. It's about an opera-obsessed Irishman in the Peruvian Amazon who dreams of building an opera house in the jungle. And he ends up moving a steamship across the Amazon from one river to another. In real life, which it really happened, they disassembled the ship and were able to do it. In this movie, they tried to pull the ship over this mountain. I believe if you go to Wiki, it talks about it here. The steamship over the Andes mountain to access rich rubber territory in the Amazon basin. It's kind of crazy, but it really happened. And this documentary talks about it and shows the struggles of making the movie, basically, by Les Bank. He's the director of it. It's an amazing documentary. I got to watch it. It's pretty good. All right, it's a Tuesday, December 16th. Welcome back, 5:19 p.m. And it's the Please Subscribe show. I'm Cole Spivey. It's 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Did about 26 miles or so beforehand. Resetting accumulated info. All right, so yeah, I fell asleep during Shoot the Piano Player. Sorry, I saw most of it. It's Francois Truffaut. He's a guy that did 400 Blows. But I did get to see Burden of Dreams. That's a 1982 documentary. It came out the same time Fitzcarraldo came out, which is Werner Herzog film. And it's a Les Bank documentary, Burden of Dreams. Pretty good. Okay, I recommended that. I didn't recommend it really, I just watched it. Okay, so here we go. Don't know why I did that. It's about 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like 53. High 61. Low 45. This one's saying, Weatherbug is saying 59 degrees. It feels like 59. 62 degrees high and a low 48. So they're saying a low 45. So my car says it's 60 degrees. Sometimes I check back into that to see, you know, if it's correct or not. Please subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel, feel free. I'll leave my PayPal right here. And also hit the notifying bell so you know when the next video is uploaded. All right, I'm Cole, talk about film. Also talk about music that comes my way. I also pick up food at restaurants and drop it off at your doorstep. I usually wait till I get to the Butterfly at least. I am working on a novel. I've done it before. I've had many attempts at a novel. This one kind of started off scattered, but it kind of got concrete at chapter 28. I think there's literary merit in that, maybe. It just depends. This is a Generation X novel, so, you know. Haven't had any real critics say anything about it yet, so. And I haven't released it with the New York Times or anything like that. I thought about maybe sending a chapter to the New Yorker, but I don't know how. I'd have to figure out, or something like that, you know, to some type of literary magazine or something, just a chapter. People have done that before. And then it's a good way to sell the book or sell the novel. I'm working on, I believe it's chapter 88, and then occasionally I'll peek at chapter 89. Did a lot of adding today. There's the Butterfly. So just to keep you up to date, if you know anything about the story of Rib, parentheses or Dog Night Out, close parentheses, dash Shepherds of Alaska is the whole title. Jed Wilson's visiting his father during Thanksgiving time. They have a conversation about everything from Vietnam to the type of hat he was wearing and his assisted electric chair that helps him. Jed visits him, and his dad's in this, like, one of those assist chairs, the ones that help you stand up. And he's helping his dad get coffee and things like that. And the nurse is supposed to bring him over Cracker Barrel, and Jed's just there to help him, you know, because Jed's more agile and can walk around a little bit better. So that's kind of the scene. His dad says some important things to him before he gets an assignment from the dwarf and has to take off in his GMC van in the middle of twilight. Really, it's like right before the sun's up or down. I'm pretty sure it's before the sun's up. I want to say that's twilight. If not, then I'd change it. I think it is. Twilight's before the sun rises. And so he has to go to the desert. And so he puts on America and listens to A Horse Has No Name towards the end of it. And his dad quotes him a Bible verse. A lot of things happen in it. All right, so we're headed off. So you got the picture. Pick up food, drop it off at the doorsteps. I get some logistics. And that's about all I talk about on the novel. Everything else I release on my Facebook page, which is Cole Spivey. All right, here we go. Here's a peek at some working nuts of it right now. All right, they're doing Rudolph at Casa and then Wizard of Oz on January 23rd through February 15th. Hasta mañana. All right, got one at Serious Pizza, 5:39 arrival, 8 minutes, 1.8 mile for the pickup. All right, so I found some Fleet Fox stuff, keeping a playlist now. So I created a new playlist on the SoundCloud. That's right. Here. Just add the playlist. And it's the one that says new 2025. See the changing of the leaves. Even happens here in Fort Worth. All right, the Christmas trees at Farrington Field in the Optimist Club. They're sold out. There's actually 1 or 2 left right by the trash can. Don't blame me. I did advertise them a little bit. So what Fleet Fox song was that? Remember on the radio a long time ago when they did that? They'd show like a little bit. You have to figure it out. You can call in and get a prize. We may do that in the future. It could happen. Gotta know the Fleet Foxes to get it. Why so serious, pizza? Why so serious, pizza? All right, so they got like an 18-inch pizza. Serious Pizza on the way, 6:02, arrival, 14 minutes, 5.3 miles for the delivery. I think you get points for it. You do on Waze, but on Google Maps, I don't know. Probably. All right, today they did release the short list for the 98th Oscars short list in 12 award categories. They don't give all the categories, but they give a few. Usually it's 15 that advance, sometimes 10. It was released today, animated short film. There were 15 films that made it to the next round out of 113 films of short films. And those are the guys right there. Playing God, Retirement Plan, The Shyness of Trees, Snow Bear. If it wasn't released on YouTube, I probably didn't see it. Casting. This is for the cast. Cast caller. I don't know what they call them. The one that cast the company for the film. 10 films were selected. Frankenstein, Hamnet. I wanted to see Hamnet. It's about the son of Hamlet. One Battle After Another. That's P.T. Anderson. It made it for casting. For the casting agent. That's what I was trying to say. Cinematography. There's 16 films that advanced. Okay, mostly I thought it was 15, but there was 16. Ballad of the Small Player, Die My Love, Frankenstein, Hamnet. Haven't seen any of them. I wanted to see this one, Novel Vogue. That's Richard Linklater, who's in Austin. It made it to the next round. Documentary feature film. There are 15 films that went forward on documentary. A total of 201 documentary films. There's some of them right there. Sorry, I have to do my show in my car. Documentary short film, 15 films went forward. 117 films this year were included. Mine was not. Not when we first made it. All empty rooms, all the way down to Heartbeat, to We Were in the Scenery. International feature film, 15 films. 86 different countries, from Argentina, Brazil, France, Germany, India, Iraq, Japan, Jordan, Norway, Palestine, Spain, Switzerland, all the way down there to a word I'd butcher if I try to say it. That film was the voice of Rehab, whatever. There's Sarat, South Korean was No Other Choice. A lot of them. Live action short film. There were a lot of them. Anyway, makeup and hair. I just found this out before I was going to do the whole showing the film that I got to watch, which was Burden of Dreams. Aren't they all? There's music score. Music original song. Sound, I'm surprised. Sound did go forward. 10 films. The one about Bruce Springsteen is on there for sound. Springsteen Delivered Me From Nowhere is on there. Visual effects is a category. I think there's 12 different categories, if I'm not mistaken. I counted it earlier. They call it the short list. All it is it's just a list showing that the films have advanced to the next round. Kind of reminds me of UIL, Union Interscholastic League, in high school. It's very exciting for the artist. They take it very serious. toy shopping. There's someone's back behind it. Hope they're not hunting. They can't hunt on that property. It's a posted sign. Glows in the dark. Full circle. Shake Shack on the way. 6:28 arrival. 1 minute, 0.3 miles for the pickup. Shake Shack on the way, 6:45 arrival, 12 minutes, 8.5 miles for the delivery. This Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, narrated by Hugh Grant, who is one of my guest teachers at the Actors Studio, Drama School, the New School, University, back in 2001, 2002. I think it was 2002 when he was interviewed. It's a pretty good preview. And then I'm listening to another version of it by another actor, because I'm budgeting. But yeah, so far I think he's done the best reading yet, Hugh Grant. It's very human.
Never about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the Isidore. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator.
Only reindeer fly. Santa's coming. Have you been a good driver? Only reindeer can fly. Watch your speed.
A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire.
I also found this Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens' full unabridged audiobook by Rupert Glynn. It's okay, it's pretty good. There's also Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, Orson Welles, and Lionel Barrymore, 1938. He's listened to the opening music of that one. And 11 months, they released this Patrick Stewart performs Christmas Carol. That one looks pretty good, too. He was a guy on Star Trek Genesis.
No steel had ever struck generous fire, secret and self-contained, and solitary as an oyster. The house was open, that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, who, in a dismal little cell beyond, a sort of tank, was copying letters. Scrooge had a
Prepare to taser.
But the clerk's fire was so very much smaller that it looked like one coal, but he couldn't replenish it, for Scrooge...
This is Captain Kirk. This is my vlog. Now, it's pretty good. I like Hugh Grant's a little bit better, but it's more dramatic than Patrick Stewart.
tried to warm himself at the candle,
They're both pretty
in
good.
which effort, not being so heated himself with rapid walking in the fog and the frost, who, cold as he was
So the major difference, I think, between the Hugh Grant and the Patrick Stewart is, well, like Hugh Grant's acting it's almost very colloquial, just normal day speech. The Patrick Stewart doesn't lose the drama of it. But they're both good, though. They're just different.
hats off in Scrooge's office. They had books and papers in their hands, and they bowed.
One seems to be a little more forceful in the speech than the other, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards Hugh Grant, but I do like Patrick Stewart. This is an older version of it. It's like, I guess they released it 11 months ago. I don't know how new it is, but they're both pretty good.
Very night. Well, we have no doubt.
Do everything in the name of Jesus. Colossians 3:17.
Festive season of...
All right, Torchy Tacos on our way. 7:06 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.9 mile for the pickup.
That Marley
This is
Boss
Hugh
was dead as
Grant.
a doornail.
It just sounds more relaxed
Scrooge knew he was
and
dead.
more thought out.
Of course he did. How could it be otherwise?
It sounds like
Scrooge
someone
and he were
talking.
partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole
It's easy to
executor,
listen to.
his sole administrator, his sole assign, his sole residuary link.
But Orson Welles has done it. Patrick Stewart's done it. Hugh Grant.
So dreadfully cut up by the sad event. But that he was an excellent man of business. Eyes
That's when
red,
I saw him.
his thin lips blue.
And he was the
and
only
spoke-
actor that year that ate peanuts during the lesson. It was 2002 inside the Actors Studio. I was there. He credited his mother with the acting genes. I do the same. Military family. I'm also a military family too. I don't know. He was the only one that didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to be there. Torchy Tacos on the way. 7:25 arrival, 11 minutes, 3.8 miles for the delivery.
As an oyster. The cold within him froze.
What Scrooge realized after being visited by the ghost of the future was that he was going to be laid into a grave one day. And from there, he realized he had his chance to be born again and to spread Christmas cheer, because he wouldn't get another chance. And all the money and savings that he was after would do him no good in that grave. And so he went off and became a kind person. I don't know, it just fits Hugh Grant for some reason. The story does. So far, it's the best reading I've ever heard. I'm going through all of it. The Patrick Stewart one's dramatic, don't get me wrong. It's one I'm going to have to probably listen to, because the Rupert one is even worse. And the Orson Welles stuff, you know, that stuff's great. That's classic radio plays. There's tons of radio plays. But I'm just listening to an audiobook reading. And the Patrick Stewart one is offered. Really, it's not necessarily, it's no charge, but they don't charge you to just tap on it for whatever reason. That's between YouTube and everybody else. This one right now with the Hugh Grant, you have to pay for it on Audible. So I guess you could say that I'm advertising for one of my guest teachers, Hugh Grant. After all, he did eat peanuts. I think that says something. No one else had a snack before the audience but Hugh Grant. Not that I know of. To me, it shows, well, the actor needs a snack. I don't know if he was peckish or losing weight, or whatever it was, but he did have peanuts, or it looked like he was eating peanuts. He could have been acting. And he was doing the whole thing with the peanuts, and nobody said anything. No one was like, "Hey, were you eating peanuts?" I don't think there were pills. No, there were peanuts. I'm sure there were peanuts. They probably had a bag of peanuts, maybe from the flight. He saved them. He was feeling peckish before he began his teaching. And sadly enough, a lot of my notes I left in a storage unit in New York City, somewhere in Soho. But I have a few of them. I don't remember if I took any notes or not. I mostly did mental notes. You let me in before. Usually when they see you one time, they're okay. It's a private community. I do want to see Heretic. It looked interesting too. That's another Hugh Grant. This isn't going to be a show about Hugh Grant, but I tried to be a famous actor in Hollywood at one time, and so I ran across a bunch of them. He was one of them. I mostly remember the actor's behavior. That's why I remember the peanuts. And that says something. How else would you teach acting but through behavior? But like I said, out of all the actors, no one had a snack, before they were, not that I can think of. They may have had water, but it wasn't like a time to sit there and break out. Oh, cigarettes. Yeah, a lot of them, yes, cigarettes. That was Johnny Depp. He had the cigarettes. And that's just simply saying, well, the actor needs a cigarette break. Well, Hugh Grant needed a peanut break, so he had some peanuts. It looked like peanuts. It could have been M&Ms. I saw them as peanuts, so that's what I was studying. I don't know if I wrote that down, Hugh Grant eating peanuts before the lesson. But, he was shaking the peanuts in his hand, and then he would pop them in his mouth. And there's a whole rumor about him supposedly living down the road from an axe murderer. And that was in the thing. I don't know if it was aired on Bravo, but then later on he gets to do Heretic, which I haven't seen yet. I believe the road is called Torrey Pines. Nice little reindeer. All right, Charleston to Fort Worth, 7:32, 4 minutes, 1 mile for the pickup. Well, the reason I like the Audible of Hugh Grant is the music's great, and of course the performance is wonderful. They must have worked very hard on it. It seems like it, or he's obviously a genius. But Heretic is supposed to be very scary, and I just like the idea. He did this very scary horror film, if that's what it is. I'll have to look up in a bit later. And then he goes and does Christmas Carol,
Of an idea which shall not put my readers up.
All right. 7:44 arrival, 7 minutes, 2.2 miles for this Charleston delivery.
The represented by his surviving partner. At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we
I'm
should
starting to
make
like
some
Patrick Stewart,
slight
but
provision for the poor
so far I'm
and
going with Hugh
destitute
Grant
who
first
suffer
place, but
greatly.
here's some information.
Many thousands are in want of common necessaries.
So it was in 1991, Sir Patrick Stewart recorded those one-man performance of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It was released in 2 compact CDs. The recording is transferred for personal copy. He also studied Shakespeare with the same video thing that we used at Texas Wesleyan. There was some videotapes that were released on like basically how to play Shakespeare, how to read and how to act Shakespeare. The teacher that he had, for some reason, it always slips my mind, but he, I don't think that teacher's still around now, but he was in that class. It was like videos that were sent to different universities. We used that video for something. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played a version of Richard III, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So the video shows a masterclass of John Barton, and there was another one, an English teacher named Cecil Dorman, that taught Sir Patrick Stewart. The one that we took, the class, or the videos, was that one, the John Barton. All the way to the right is John Barton, the famous Shakespeare teacher. To the left is Patrick Stewart and Titus and Andronicus' Passion versus Intellect. That's one of his teachers, British theater director John Barton. We had some of his tapes. Passed away in 2018.
At length, the hour of shutting up the counting was over. With an ill, don't think me ill-used, but
All right, we got 2 of them, 7-Eleven and Torchy's. First 7-Eleven, 7:56 arrival, 4 minutes, 1.3 mile for the pickup. All right, so this was done 5 years ago. So it was done right before Heretic, probably. As Christmas Carol, and he would go off and do Heretic later. This is a novella by Charles Dickens. Ebenezer Scrooge. The iconic story. Hugh Grant narrates it. Did it 5 years ago. Well, they're releasing it now for the holidays. Smart decision, my friend. That'll probably replay quite a bit. All right, 2 Torchy Tacos, 8:05 arrival, 4 minutes, 1.8 mile for the pickup. The second part of the delivery. Torchy Tacos on the way, and the 7-Eleven, 8:15, 5 minutes, 2 miles for the delivery. That's where my high school sweetheart lived, although it was a smaller house. That house has been completely rebuilt. That's completely crazy. Kind of spooky too. Most of these houses haven't. but that one's been rebuilt from the outside in. Right, Zap Kitchen, 8:28 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.4 for the pickup. All right, so we did Elliot Porter, we did those three, which is Carol Romero, Berenice Abbott, and Clara Cipral. So Purtle Jones, we did do Purtle Jones, Figures in the Rain, San Francisco. We're gonna do this one. Paul Greenberg, Swimmer, New York, 1982, Jelton Silver print. American Carter Museum of American Art. They have like 40,000 or 45,000 prints. So that's so right. Here, 45,000. And there's Zap. Zap Kitchen on the way. 8:45 arrival, 7 minutes, 3.1 miles for the delivery.
Pleasantly, and no one wished to lay it. Their faithful friend and servant, C.D.
All right, so that is Brunette Plaza building. It's 567 feet tall and 173 meters. If you're going at meters on it. I think they started working on it in 1981. That's still the plaza right there. Going to the Meridian. This is the Meridian. Guess it already is. Pretty classy. Looks like that smart locks. Good and bad thing. So that's A, and that would be B. Oh, this is cool. Cool symbols. Cool elevator. Oh, this one looks like it's best elevator. That's known as the Meridian. It's pretty good. All right, Stoner's Pizza, 9:05 arrival, 7 minutes, 1.6 mile for the pickup.
Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole assign, his sole residuary legatee.
Look at some of these old buildings. How old that is right there, probably from the 50s. They have an ice cream shop. Called Melt Ice Cream right before Houston, or if you're from New York, Houston. They always say Houston here, and they say Houston in New York. Isn't that funny? Dun, 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 dun. Let's see.
A Christmas Carol in prose, being a ghost story of Christmas, by Charles Dickens. Preface. I have endeavoured, in this ghostly event, Charles Dickens.
Simon
December 1843.
It's released in 2020. All right, Stoner's Pizza. So they have an arcade. Oh, legalized marinara, I forgot. I got the big boy pizza. Like 2 pizzas and a Pepsi and something else. Stoner Pizza on the way. 9:27 arrival, 16 minutes, 7.7 miles for the delivery.
May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wished to lay it. Their faithful friend and servant, C.D.
But he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching,
and spoke out shrewdly in his grating voice.
They were so nice. They told me to have a Merry Christmas, and I told them, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Christmas time, when it has come round, apart from the veneration Jew.
All right, bowls of rice, 9:46 arrival, 1 minute, 0.9 for the pickup. So what you do is just put the phone screen up there, and that opens. All right, bowls of rice from Fort Worth Food Works is on its way. 10:03 arrival, 12 minutes, 4.8 miles for the delivery.
Because I fell in love. Because you fell in love, growled Scrooge, as if that were the only one thing in the world more ridiculous than a Merry Christmas. Good afternoon.
Reader of
went
this
down a
version is
slide on
Simon
Cornhill
Stanhope.
at the end of a lane of boys
He's an
20
actor.
times
He's
in
got
honor
a
of its being Christmas Eve.
little internet movie
And then
database.
ran home to Camden
Some of the
Town
films he's done.
as hard as he could
He
pelt
did some Paw
to
Patrol.
play at blind man's buff. Scrooge took his
My
Mellingsley's
kids
book,
used to watch
went
Paw
home to
Patrol
bed.
like crazy.
He lived in
Paw
chambers
Patrol.
which had once belonged to his deceased
Yeah, they
partner.
watched Paw Patrol
They were
all
a gloomy
day
suite
long.
of rooms
Or
in
as
a
much as they
lowering
could.
pile of building
It was
up
one
a
of their
yard
first to go
where
to.
it had
Oh, it's a little angel. Yeah, this Stanhope, is it Simon Stanhope? Yeah, he was in Paw Patrol. My kids would watch Paw Patrol nonstop growing up. And they were like 4 or 5. Paw Patrol, remember it? Yeah, I used to recall all the characters too. Now I have to look it up, but. This is like perfect for an actor to do.
Marley's face.
Basically what he's doing is he's doing an audiobook reading of the novel Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Puts all his information. There's his name, Simon Stanhope. I guess he goes by Bite-Sized Audio. Now he has monthly support on Patreon. Buy Me a Coffee, I've used them before. And he's on Bandcamp. I've used Bandcamp before. This is great. And it's actually a pretty dang good reading. And he's got voiceover work for Paw Patrol. Simon Stanhope. Pretty good reading.
On its ghostly forehead. The hair was curious. Lighted his candle. He did pause with a moment's irresolution before he shut the door.
This is Simon Stanhope, who we're listening to. And he's really smart. He puts his name, I believe I remember seeing it on the cover here, but it is on the description down here. So he goes by Bite-Size Audio. Right there. So he does, I guess he does books. So when you join it, you can get a kind of a headshot of what he looks like right there. Sounds like maybe an LA actor, I'm not for sure. But since he does voiceover work, he could be really from anywhere. Nowadays, a voiceover actor can be anywhere that they have internet, really, or they can access internet. And these are some of the stuff that he's done. Occupant of the Room. I guess maybe these are books. 21 minutes, though. Maybe short stories. The author of Conan Doyle. Sealed Room, things like that. Thanks, Simon. Appreciate it. All right, 7-Eleven at Forest Park, 10:17 ETA. We'll be there in 3 minutes, 1 mile for the pickup. .7-Eleven on the way, 10:26 arrival, 6 minutes, 2.1 miles for the delivery.
Long ago, and paved all round with quaint Dutch tiles. I think I remember it. And then he heard the noise. It's Hamburg still. It came on.
On our way to McDonald's, 10:32 arrival, 3 minutes, 1.1 mile for the pickup.
Down on the opposite side of the fireplace, as if he were quite used to it. Scrooge, why do you doubt your senses? Because, said Scrooge, a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be an undigested bit of beef.
Hello. All right, McDonald's on the way. 10:56 arrival, 15 minutes, 6.3 miles for the delivery. All right, crossing Bel Air. Now we get to go down the hill. Whee! Hang on there, critter. Drop off some McDonald's. It's a Blue Angel F-18 Hornet. Got the Christmas tree off of Fiction Press. This is Alice Ruby with 2 Y's, 1. Do you have any other platform without Facebook? All right, not too bad on grammar. And already sent my email or Discord. You can message me on any platform. And dear, I don't have Facebook. And dear, she's talking about the novel I'm writing, Rib, parentheses, or Dog Night Out, close parentheses, dash, Shepherds of Alaska. Most of them don't get the full title, so that's why it's a working title that way. It's easier to find than just, you know, if I just called it Rib, it wouldn't be as easy as fine if I called it Rib, or parentheses Dog Night Out, close parentheses, dash Shepherds of Alaska. A lot of them will just say Rib or parentheses, or they'll say Rib, parentheses, or Dog Night Out, close parentheses. But it's dash Shepherds of Alaska. You can message me on any platform, and dear, I don't have Facebook. I only have Instagram, Discord, and email. Okay. So to respond, we hit a reply link. You can open on default. It shows the conversation. Hello, how are you doing? I just finished reading your story. I absolutely loved it. It sparked an amazing idea in my mind that could really enhance your story. Would you like to hear it? Cool. I'd love to hear your idea for the next chapter for Rib, or parentheses, Dog Night Out, close parentheses, dash Shepherds of Alaska. Contact me on Facebook at Cole Spivey. I have the black and white photo on my profile page. Use Messenger to contact me. Thanks. I just feel better on Facebook because you get a better idea of who's contacting you. A lot of times they just have like Comic-Con, or they have like, it looks like a, something that has like a photo of a cartoon or something on it. I'm looking for a real person. It's great to hear from your side. Can we connect on any other social media like Discord, email, or Instagram? Is Facebook cool? Friend me at Cole Spivey and send me a messenger. Thanks. Ash Cole, a.k.a. Cole Spivey. Well, I don't have Facebook. That's why I'm saying that. Do you have Discord, email, or Instagram? And so we can respond. I sent my email, but they actually encrypt it on Fiction Press. That's my pen name. And so I guess it would allow me to send, I guess it wouldn't allow me to send my email. Why do you avoid Facebook? Don't worry, I'll send you my Gmail or Discord. And then there's a Gmail there. Okay. I see, so they can send emails. You have to send it like that. Sorry about that. Your email's on there. Do you have any other platform without Facebook? I already sent you my email or Discord. You can message me on platform, and dear, I don't have Facebook. I only have Instagram, Discord, and email. Okay. I recommend creating a Facebook page and messaging at Cole Spivey. Thanks, Ash Cole, aka Cole Spivey. Then there's this right here. So we can still do it that way. And I see it this way. If they're not going to go the extra mile and create the Facebook page, then, maybe they can find another author to help. But she did send she did send me her Gmail. So, it depends on how much, how much she wants to illustrate my stuff, if that's what she's wanting to do. And what story is she talking about? She doesn't talk about the story. She just says here, I just finished reading your story. Well, there's a lot of stories that I have under Ash Cole. If you go under Ash Cole and you want to read, I have a lot of stories under that. There it is. This is just an excerpt from Rib, chapter 59 through 55. It was posted backwards. And then here it is at 59 again, or I guess chapter 59. I have 4 more chapters than that. This one's actually pretty good, the pet taxi one. And they're all going to have probably some spelling errors and stuff. Pet taxi is about Mr. Pickle the cat, and Fred and the state trooper and a 18-wheeler. Silver Alert Kitty is kind of a continuation of that. There's Chin 2. Chin, I was started in Carrollton. That was pretty much a COVID novel. It's about COVID a little bit. East Mid-Cities Boulevard Squirrels, a squirrely sequel extended. That's my children's story stuff. Mid-City Boulevard Squirrels. Chin Part 1, wrote that in Carrollton. And then I have several poems and a play. One is in code and one is not. The Pond is a short play by me, Cole Spivey, or Ash Cole. And then you have next right here. Stop doing this. So it goes to an advertising. Fiction Press has a lot of advertisement. There's Homesickness. Homesickness, a broken play in 2 acts, was posted on SoundCloud under Hidden Drive. So Homesickness was the original play, and it's also on here, but Hidden Drive is a different play. It's an extended version of that, very much extended. American Clean is a poem, 6373, and 83 is a poem. Rainey's Pick is a short story, or it's actually called Rainey's Pickup. I have quite the anthology. Catnappers is a story about a clique of boys hunt down an evil gang terrorizing neighborhood cats in Haltom City, Texas. Escape from Maine was written in Maine while I was working at Hardwood Products, and the story is called Havenwood Products. The Collectors is a play about North Parkman, a rare bookstore owner, and his two friends, Teddy. North is the owner of the bookstore, and Jean interferes and ends up killing North. She's it's about a guy that collects rare books, tries to sell them in New York. He's killed on the subway by Jean. No, actually, I'm sorry. I think Jean gets killed. Or does Jean end up killing? No, I believe Jean ends up killing him. This maybe Teddy seeks revenge. Jean interferes and ends up killing North. Oh, that's right. North ends up getting killed. Yes, North is an older man. North is killed by Jean. Teddy seeks revenge and ends up killing Jean. I forgot how that worked. It ends in the subway in New York. Collectors, Escape from Maine. Then we go to 3. Part 1, Part 2. The Mahon Flower was a novella that I wrote while I was in Dover Foxcroft, or I was at Dover Foxcroft. Catnappers is more versions of Catnappers there. Mahon Flowers, there's different versions of it. It's basically the same. Highland Park Cafe I wrote in Dallas before I left for Maine in 2011. It has the dates of the actual post of things. No Man County was a play. I wrote that play in White Settlement before I left to Maine. 15 Days is another play. It's a poetic play. Breathe, a poem. Another one here. Tarman. And that's just that. And also have it under the same name, Ash Cole. I have it under fan fiction as well, which has different stories. Fan fiction has the Untitled, which is the name of one of my first books. World of Documents I wrote in Euless. Wrote it in Euless, Texas. Blind Crossing I wrote in Crowley, Texas. Right on the line, kitty. You're smart. All right, kitty, I know you're concerned, but this is for outdoor kitties only. You don't eat Pet Pride, you eat something that's a little bit better. Ooh, that was nice. So I'm gonna pour it in here, and then you just don't eat it. I'm just gonna go to the outdoor kitties, okay? Pet Pride. It's good for outdoor kids, $2 cheaper. I just do a little bit for them, and then we got some reduced. And Kitty likes to help out. He's concerned about cats out there that need help. This one's reduced down 30 cents. Excuse me. Come with this one. Here, we're gonna take a trip elevator ride down that way. There we go. And they're really appreciative. I don't give them a whole lot, just a couple scoops. That'll be for them. Go ahead and put this up here. Uh-oh, yogurt's in the wrong spot. I don't show what's in my refrigerator, at least it's court ordered. Okay. bowls. Yeah, I could probably go like that. There you go. Here we go with today's kitty. There's one kitty, 9 lives, and each cat life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. Swirl the cat food. And pick a cat food. Today's kitty will be having fancy feast, salmon and shrimp feast in gravy grilled. You're learning very well, kitty. They learn by sound. The cats do. There's a Russian artist that trained these cats to do backflips through hoops using a clicker, just like that. But I like kitty to be natural, as if he's not trained, but yet trained. Basically, he is a method cat actor. So he's a method actor cat. So I'm training him unconsciously. Well, I'm training him to be conscious about the unconscious. I don't know if they believe in the subconscious, they might, but I'm training him to be real. Right, kitty? All right, let's move it over this way. That way you don't knock it over. And then I'm going to have this Pitmaster Smokehouse style. It's actually 310 times 2. No, per can. Let me see if it is per can. Oh, it is. Okay. So it's 310 for the can. I'll have some crackers. I'll mix some spinach in it. I'm going to put some lemon in it too. Kitty, that's not good. Don't do that. Over this way, come on. Some cilantro chicken that a friend cooked for me. That should cook in there just fine. I put it on 6. So that it'll boil on 6. I didn't know that. I didn't put it on high. I should have put it on 2, maybe 3. Cook it for a good 2 or 3 minutes. I came back, it was boiling.
No ice water in here.
And I'll just put the spoon on the left for this one. The knife actually goes to over here, I believe. It's fork and it's knife. And the spoon goes over here. But for right now, we're just going to do it this way. According to proper table etiquette and tableware manners, the knife and the fork go to the left. The spoon goes to the right. I think that's correct. If I remember it, yes. The knife blade faces this way and goes down that way. We're only using it for butter. So. Voila. There it goes. The bread. And the butter. There's glare coming off of this. This is my tea here. This is very hot soup right here. There's the bread, the butter. Can I bite? When you dip the bread in the soup bowl, pinky up on that. As long as the pinky's up. Now, since we followed all the table etiquette manners, now we get to watch what's on TV. Be sure to look the Bluetooth up if you're going to be polite at the table. Make sure the Bluetooth is... Someone's watching Growing Pains. There we go. I did not know that Leonardo DiCaprio was on Growing Pains. surprisingly enough, no one's watching. But that's okay. This news, Rob Reiner what? About Nick Reiner's drug addiction, okay. Mixed match, The Snowman. Okay, there's Michael Guide. Oh yeah, Carrot Top. I gotta see this one. Kevin Nealon has a show right now in California where he hikes. I'm gonna watch this one. Not too hot. My friend, a roommate, was at the Actors Studio in New York. He ran into Carrot Top. So they're watching her now. Anyway, that was Carrot Top. He went through a whole season where he really got buff and worked out. I notice there's a lot of glare on this in some of the screenshots. So